Hello children, welcome to online classes. Today I am going to explain some important points from three chapters: organic compounds containing nitrogen, coordination compounds and biomolecules. Coming to the organic compounds containing nitrogen, along with carbon and hydrogen, organic compounds containing heteroatom nitrogen. They are cyanides, isocyanides, diazonium salts and amines. So among these, the amines are very important. Now we are going to discuss about amines. Amines are alkyl derivatives of ammonia. When alkyl group or alkyl groups are introduced into the molecule of ammonia, we can get amines. So if one hydrogen is replaced with alkyl group, we can get 1 degree amines. If two alkyl groups are introduced into the molecule of ammonia, 2 degree amines. If three alkyl groups are introduced into the molecule of ammonia, 3 degree amines are obtained. All these amines are Lewis bases since they contain lone pair at nitrogen. Coming to the classification and nomenclature, amines are classified into two types: aliphatic amines and aromatic amines. In aliphatic amines, nitrogen of amine is attached to alkyl group, whereas in aromatic amines, nitrogen of amine is attached to arene ring. That is one type of classification. Later on, nitrogen, whether it is attached to 1 carbon, 2 carbons or 3 carbons, based on that amines are divided into three types: 1 degree amines, 2 degree amines and 3 degree amines. Coming to the nomenclature, common name. First you write the name of alkyl group, followed by amine. IUPAC name according to the rules. First you select the longest carbon chain holding nitrogen, root word alk, followed by primary suffix, say it is N, then secondary suffix is amine. If more than 2 carbons are there, before amine or after amine, you mention its position also. Let us take the smallest amine, CH3NH2. This is 1 degree amine. Common name, the name of the alkyl group is methyl, so methylamine. IUPAC name, root word is meth, primary suffix automatically N, followed by amine, methanamine. Next, first you select the main carbon chain containing 4 carbons and holding nitrogen, numbering from left to right: 1, 2, 3, 4. So methyl is a substituent present at third position. 3 methyl, root word is but, primary suffix ane, and amine is at second position. So butane to amine. Next, secondary amines. Secondary amines are generally represented as RCHNH2 or NHR. Now you select the main carbon chain holding nitrogen and other one should be the substituent. Let us take CH3NHCH3. So select the main carbon chain meth, ane, amine, then CH3 is taken as substituent that is attached to N. That's why the prefix is N-methyl. After that, root word is meth, primary suffix is ane, secondary suffix is amine, N-methyl methanamine is the IUPAC name. Common name dimethylamine. Methyl, methyl, there are two methyls, dimethylamine. Coming to the 3-degree amine, RNRR. So, one alkyl group only taken as main carbon chain including nitrogen. The remaining two are substituents. So, these may be simple or mixed amines. Example, CH3, NCH3, CH3. This is simple 3-degree amine. Select root word first, longest carbon chain holding nitrogen. After the selection of main carbon chain, the remaining are considered substituents. There are two methyl groups attached to nitrogen. So, N-methyl, N-methyl. We can write it as N comma N dimethyl, N dimethyl, root word is meth, primary suffix is ane, amine. So, that is the nomenclature of the amines. If you take aromatic, when NH2 is attached to the ring directly, that is aromatic amine, this is aniline. Common name is aniline, that also considered IUPAC name. This is 2-degree amine. Now, aniline is a parent compound, then methyl becomes substituent. N-methyl aniline. N-methyl aniline. Now, coming to the methods of preparation, reduction of nitro compounds, all nitroalkanes or nitroarenes. When nitroalkane is subjected to reduction by tin HCl or iron HCl, acid medium, nascent hydrogens are provided by the acid medium, oxygens are removed and hydrogens are added. 2 oxygens are removed as 2H2O. In place of 2 oxygens, 2 hydrogens are attached. 1-degree amine is obtained. Instead of acid medium, catalytic hydrogenation also we can do. When nitrobenzene is subjected to catalytic hydrogenation in the presence of palladium, same process, oxygens are replaced with hydrogen. We can get aniline. So, here the reduction, the decrease in oxidation number by 6 units taking place. Next method, by the reduction of nitriles amides. RCN, when it is subjected to reduction by means of strong reducing agent, lithium aluminum hydride followed by hydration, that is understood. Double bond is broken, sorry, 2 pi bonds are broken, RCN remains present. C takes 2 hydrogens, N takes 2 hydrogens, we can get 1-degree amine. By this method we can prepare only 1-degree amine. Amide we can take RCO NH2, 1-degree amide. When it is subjected to reduction by LiAlH4, oxygen is replaced with hydrogens or CH2 NH2. So, this is 1-degree amine. If you take 2-degree amide or CONHR, by the reduction we can get 2-degree amine also, like this. So, from 2-degree amide we can get 2-degree amine. Alkylation of ammonia, this is well known reaction from alkyl halides. When alkyl halide is reacted with ammonia, nucleophilic substitution reaction takes place. Through lone pair nitrogen attacks at electrophilic carbon, X minus comes out, that takes H plus later from ammonia. So, RNH2. So, this is the method how to introduce alkyl group into the ammonia. This is called alkylation of ammonia. 1-degree amine we can get. Similarly, after the formation of RNH2, if one more mole alkyl halide is there, again alkylation takes place. Again alkylation taking place. We can get 2-degree amine. This is 2-degree amine. Similarly, if one more RX is added, again 2-degree amine also undergoes SN reaction. HX is removed. We can get 3-degree amine. Still 3-degree amine also acting as attacking nucleophile since lone pair is there. That's why if one more mole RX is added, 3-degree amine also undergoes SN reaction. But since hydrogen is not there at nitrogen, HX is not formed. Quaternary ammonium ion is formed. Quaternary ammonium ion is formed. One of the bonds is dative bond. Since this nitrogen is ammonium ion, it attracts X minus. So this is salt, quaternary ammonium salt. Hoffmann bromamide degradation. Amide to amine, but degradation, one carbon is less. The number of carbons present in amine formed is less when compared with amide by 1. Or CONH2 amide, when it is reacted with bromine in the presence of alkali, sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, CO part is broken, removed, or NH2 is obtained, plus Na2CO3, NaBr plus H2. Like this we can get amine from amide. Since one carbon is reduced, this is called degradation. Coming to the chemical properties. Physical properties, boiling point and solubility similar to alcohols. Boiling points of amines is more since they are able to form intermolecular hydrogen bonding. As the number of hydrogen bonds increased, boiling point also increased. So 1-degree amines have more boiling point, then 2-degree, then 3-degree. Similarly, solubility. 1-degree amine is more soluble in water since it is able to form more number of intermolecular hydrogen bonds with water molecules. So solubility decreased with the degree of amine, 1-degree greater than 2-degree greater than 3-degree. They are normal. Now coming to the chemical properties, basic nature. Ammonia or amines acting as Lewis bases, even Bronsted bases also. They can donate lone pair, they can form dative bonds. So according to Lewis theory, they act as bases. At the same time, they can accept H plus proton. That's why they act as bases according to Bronsted theory. sp3 hybridization is taking place at nitrogen. At nitrogen, one lone pair is staying at sp3 orbital trigonal pyramidal structure. Even any amine also almost having same shape and bond angle, etc. So because of the lone pair, they act as bases. RNH2, when it is added to water, it can take H plus and forms RNH3 plus alkyl 1-degree ammonium ion, and then OH minus is removed. So we can determine Kb value, even pKb value also. So relative basic strength. Relative basic strength of amines important. Basicity of amines. Relative basic strength of amines depends on many factors. It is increased with Kb value, it is decreased with pKb value, it is increased with availability of lone pair, availability of lone pair at nitrogen, it is increased with electron density at nitrogen, electron density at nitrogen, and it is increased by electron donating group attached. It is decreased by electron withdrawing group attached. At the same time, in aqueous medium, it is increased with the degree of hydrogen bond formation. So, extent of hydration, it is increased with the degree of hydration in aqueous solution only, degree of hydration or hydrogen bonds. By applying all these factors, we can find out relatively which amine is more basic. Let us take ammonia and 1 degree amine. In 1 degree amine, electron density at nitrogen is more because of electron donating group. Plus psi group of the alkyl group increases electron density. So, 1 degree amine acts as stronger base than ammonia. Similarly, 2 degree amine acts as still stronger base, and then finally 3 degree amine. That is only in vapor phase. Basic nature of aryl amines. So, before that one more, acidic basic nature of alkyl amine and aryl amine, if we see, as the lone pair of nitrogen is in conjugation with pi bonds of benzene ring, the availability of lone pair is decreased in aniline. So, aromatic amine is less basic than aliphatic amine. In aqueous medium, if we observe, other factors, degree of hydration also can influence the basic strength of amines. So, in aqueous medium, order of basic strength slightly changed. 2 degree amine greater than 3 degree amine greater than 1 degree amine and ammonia. This is for general amines in aqueous medium. You remember, in aqueous medium. Only for methyl amines, if alkyl group is methyl group, slightly changed, 2 degree amine, 1 degree amine, 3 degree amine. So, basic nature of 3 degree amine even less than 1 degree amine if the alkyl group present is methyl. This is for methyl amines. Now, coming to the basic nature of aryl amines and substituted amines, aniline and substituted aniline, we will see. If NO2 is taken at ortho position, NO2 is electron withdrawing group by minus I effect and minus R effect. That is why obviously basic strength of aniline is decreased because of NO2. Instead of electron withdrawing group, now we can keep electron donating group like CH3. Orthotoluidine we can take, orthomethyl aniline. Here methyl is no doubt donating group, but we can expect orthotoluidine is more basic, but experimentally scientists came to know that methyl amine, orthomethyl amine still less basic than amine. So, the reason because of CH3 group at ortho position, that is called ortho effect. So, you remember, any group present at ortho position can decrease the basic strength of aniline, that is called ortho effect. For benzoic acid, exactly opposite, any group present at ortho position can increase the acidic strength of benzoic acid, but basic strength of aniline is decreased by any type of group present at ortho position. Next, other chemical properties of amines, if you check, alkylation. In place of hydrogen of amine, alkyl group is introduced. This is 2 degree amine. When it is reacted with alkyl halide, it acts as attacking nucleophile, attacks at electrophilic carbon of the alkyl group. In place of hydrogen, one alkyl group is introduced. This process is called alkylation. Next, acylation. Let us take 1 degree amine. When it is reacted with acid halide, nucleophilic acyl substitution takes place. Cl minus is removed. That Cl minus takes H plus later. So, RNH COR. This is nothing but amide. RCONH is amide. R is alkyl group. N-alkyl alkanamide is the product. Similarly, benzylation. Let us take aniline, primary amine. When it is reacted with benzyl chloride, same process takes place. Through lone pair, it attacks at carbonyl carbon, acylic carbon, NH, CO, C6, H5. N-phenyl benzamide, N-phenyl benzamide or benzonylide is the product. Diazotization, formation of diazonium salts. When primary amine is reacted with nitrous acid, that nitrous acid is produced by adding NaNO2 and HCl, NaNO2 and HCl. Then we can get diazonium salt. N2 plus is diazonium ion. It takes Cl minus, diazonium chloride. But that diazonium chloride is highly unstable, of course. Alkyl diazonium salt is highly unstable. It undergoes decomposition easily to give alcohol, alkyl chloride, even alkene. So during this reaction, intermediate carbocation is formed that may undergo rearrangement to give unexpected alcohol as the main product. Here alcohol is the main product. Instead of aliphatic amine, we can take aromatic amine also, aniline. When aniline is reacted with nitrous acid in the presence of NaNO2 and HCl, that produces HNO2 in situ. When 0 to 5 degrees of centigrade temperature is maintained, ice cold temperature is maintained, the formed benzene diazonium chloride becomes stable. We can separate from the reaction mixture. This is benzene diazonium chloride. So aryl diazonium salts are stable while alkyl diazonium salts are unstable. After the formation of aryl diazonium salt, that is used as a starting material for the preparation of chlorobenzene, bromobenzene by Sandmeyer reaction, by Gattermann reaction, even phenol benzene, many types of aromatic compounds we can prepare from benzene diazonium salts. So this reaction is known as diazotization. Next, distinguish test. When 1 degree amine, 2 degree amine and 3 degree amine, 3 are given, 1 degree amine is identified by carbylamine test. When 1 degree amine is reacted with chloroform and alcoholic KOH, a gas with offensive odor is obtained, that is alkyl isocyanide, KCl plus H2O. So with the bad smell of this one, we can recognize as the given amine is 1 degree amine. 2 degree amine, 3 degree amine cannot give this type of test. So carbylamine test or isocyanide test is used to identify only 1 degree amine. Next one, Hinsberg's test. This is very important and common test used to identify 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree amines. Let us take 1 degree or 2 degree or 3 degree amine given to us, taken in the test tube. To this, Hinsberg's reagent is added. Benzene sulfonyl chloride is Hinsberg's reagent. After the formation of the salt, potassium hydroxide is added. 3 types of observations we can get. 1, the amine reacts with benzene sulfonyl chloride to give a salt like substance that is dissolved in KOH because of acidic hydrogen. So the substance which is soluble in KOH, if the salt formed is soluble in KOH, that amine is 1 degree amine. The salt which is insoluble in KOH, so insoluble in KOH, such type of salt is formed by 2 degree amine. If no reaction, such type of amine is 3 degree amine. So based on this, we can identify 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree amines. EAS reactions, EAS or ESR reactions, electrophilic aromatic substitution. So here NH2 which is attached to benzene ring acts as electron donating group, strong donating group, ring activating group because of the plus R effect. NH2 can increase the electron density at ortho and para positions by plus R effect. That's why it is ring activating group. It can suggest the incoming electrophile to attack at ortho as well as para position. So, this is ortho para directing group. This is strong electron donating group. That's why tribromination, trinitration also taking place. Let us take bromination. When aniline is reacted with bromine in the presence of CCl4 or in the presence of water, we can get tribromoaniline, since NH2 is very strong electron donating group. So, to get monobromination, so there is one technique. First, the ring activating nature of NH2 group is decreased by the acylation. When it is reacted with acetyl chloride in the presence of pyridine, H and Cl both are removed and COCH3 is attached to the NH. So, because of COCH3, this is electron withdrawing group, the electron donating nature of NH is decreased. So, now this is subjected to bromination in the presence of acetic acid. So, at this time Br plus attacks at ortho as well as para. Two types we can get, NHCOCH3 bromine at ortho position, bromine at para position, NHCOCH3 bromine. So, from this how can we get back aniline? Simply by the hydrolysis. When it is subjected to hydrolysis, we know amide undergoes hydrolysis to give amine. So, we can get back aniline, but at ortho position bromine. So, for monobromination, NH2 is subjected to acylation. Nitration, same procedure. When aniline is reacted with nitric acid and H2SO4 nitration, generally we can get orthonitroaniline and paranitroaniline, but here orthonitroaniline, metanitroaniline as well as paranitroaniline. So, the reason in strong acidic medium, NH2 group undergoes protonation forming NH3 plus. This acts as electron withdrawing. That's why we are getting metanitroaniline. So, to get only orthonitroaniline and paranitroaniline, same procedure, acylation of aniline. When aniline is subjected to acylation, N-phenyl acetonilide is obtained, then that is subjected to nitration, NHCOCH3. Now, this is subjected to nitration followed by hydrolysis. We can get orthonitroaniline as well as paranitroaniline. I hope you are able to follow. Sulfonation, when aniline is reacted with fuming sulfuric acid, we can get a salt NH3 plus HSO4 minus. On further heating, we can get para-amino-benzene sulfonic acid, but this exists as Zwitter ion. Intramolecular proton transfer takes place, forming a Zwitter ion, NH3 plus SO3 minus. So, this is Zwitter ion or inner salt. Friedel-Crafts acylation, it won't give Friedel-Crafts acylation because NH2 is very strong electron donating group. It may form day-2 bond with AlCl3, which is catalyst in the Friedel-Crafts alkylation. That's why aniline does not undergo Friedel-Crafts alkylation as well as acylation. Coming to diazonium salts, salts which contain diazonium ion, N triple bond N, this is diazonium ion, can be written as N2 plus. that may be attached to arene ring or attached to alkyl. So diazonium salts are two types: arene diazonium salt, alkyl diazonium salt. Alkyl diazonium salts are unstable, we cannot separate after the formation, but we can store arene diazonium salts by keeping the temperature at 0 degrees centigrade. So preparation just now we did from primary amines. Primary amine, when it is reacted with nitrous acid, diazotization takes place. HNO2 is readily produced in the test tube when NaNO2 and acid is added. We have to maintain the temperature 0 to 5 degrees centigrade. We can get benzene diazonium salt. Benzene diazonium salt is obtained. The reactions of benzene diazonium salts, two types: replacement reactions. When benzene diazonium salt is reacted with cuprous chloride and HCl, already we studied, N2 plus simply replaced by Cl minus, we can get chlorobenzene. This is called Sandmeyer reaction. Instead of cuprous chloride, we can use even cuprous bromide also. Instead of cuprous chloride and HCl, copper and HCl also we can use. This is little bit latest method for the preparation of chlorobenzene. This is Gattermann's reaction. So if copper HCl, Gattermann, copper chloride and HCl, Sandmeyer reaction. Potassium iodide, if it is used, simply potassium iodide can replace N2 with iodine. When it is reacted with HbF4, fluoroboric acid, we can get a salt like substance N2 plus BF4 minus fluoroborate, benzene diazonium fluoroborate. On heating, N2 plus replaced with fluorine, we can get fluorobenzene, boron trifluoride and N2 gas. Next, when it is treated with potassium cyanide or sodium cyanide, we can get benzonitrile. When it is treated with warm water, just in warm condition, OH replaces N2 producing phenol. When it is reacted with H3PO2 and water, now benzene is obtained. Instead of H3PO2 and water, we can use even ethyl alcohol also. So like this, by replacing N2 plus, we can get many types of products. Coupling reactions. When aniline is reacted with diazonium salt, when diazonium salt is reacted with phenol, OH is electron donating group, we can make it a strong donating group in the presence of mild alkali whose pH is around 8. So at that time, N2 will become common for both the rings. Both the rings are attached with each other through azo bond. Para-hydroxy-azobenzene is formed. This is orange colored dye. So dyes are prepared by using this coupling reaction. Similarly, when benzene diazonium salt is treated with aniline in the presence of acidic medium, mild acidic conditions, coupling reaction takes place. Both have been attached each other through azo group. Para-amino azobenzene is formed. This is yellow colored dye. So in colors, dyes are prepared by using coupling reactions of aniline, diazonium salts. Coming to the next topic, coordination compounds. Complex compounds and double salts. Double salts are formed by the combination of two salts, but when they are dissolved in water, they can produce all types of ions present in it. Potash alum, it can dissolve in water to give K plus, SO4 2 minus as well as Al3 plus. All types of ions are produced, even Morse salt also. Complex salt not like that. Potassium ferrocyanide. In the solid state of potassium cyanide, potassium ferrocyanide, there are 3 types of ions, K plus, Fe2 plus and Cn minus. But when dissolved in water, it can give the test one for only 2 types of ions. One is complex. So here Fe2 plus and Cn minus ions both are not separated because of the dative bond between them, non-ionized bond. So such type of salt which won't produce all types of ions present in it when dissolved in water is called complex salt. Then terminology, coordination entity. The central metal atom along with the ligands. Central metal atom along with the ligands when dissolved in water, they will be in combined state. They are not separated from one another. That is called coordination entity, that is represented in the square bracket in the formula. Central atom or ion. The d block metal generally can provide empty d orbitals to receive lone pairs. So the metal atom or ion which is present at the center of complex, which receives electron pairs from ligands and forms dative bonds, is called central metal atom or ion. In potassium ferricyanide, Fe3 plus is the central metal ion. It acts as Lewis acid, whereas ligand acts as Lewis base. Ligand is the molecule or ion which has lone pair and donates lone pair with the central metal atom, forming dative bond, coordinate covalent bond, and acts as Lewis base. So ligand is nothing but Lewis base, but the separation for the identity, we are using the word ligand instead of Lewis base. Types of ligands. Based on the charge present on the ligand, ligands are divided into anionic ligands, neutral ligands and cationic ligands. You have to remember these. Anionic ligands like fluoride, chloride, hydroxide, these are all having negative charge but can act as electron pair donors. Next, neutral ligands, they have lone pair at the central atom, so they act as electron pair donors but no charge. Similarly, cationic ligands based on the charge. Similarly, ligands are classified on the denticity. Denticity means the number of dative bonds formed by one ligand is called denticity. Some ligands can form only one dative bond. They are called monodentate ligands. Some other ligands can form two dative bonds. They are called bidentate ligands. Similarly, tridentate, pentadentate, even hexadentate ligands. So based on the denticity, they are divided into monodentate or unidentate, bidentate, like that. Next, bidentate, if you take one molecule of ligand only can form two dative bonds, ethane 1,2-diamine, ethane 1,2-diamine. This is bidentate ligand. One ligand only can form two dative bonds with the central metal atom. So this is bidentate ligand. Even it is forming a cyclic compound, chelate ligand. This is also called chelate ligand. There are two donor atoms. Both the donor atoms may be identical, may be different. So symmetrical bidentate ligands or unsymmetrical bidentate ligands. Oxalate also another one. Ethylene diamine tetraacetate. Ethylene diamine tetraacetate, EDTA. Here if you observe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 6 donor atoms. So one molecule of ethylene diamine tetraacetate, EDTA, can form 6 dative bonds. That's why this is an example for hexadentate ligand. Di-N, this is diethylene triamine, Di-N, diethylene triamine. It can form 3 dative bonds. So this is an example for tridentate ligand. Ambidentate ligands. There are some monodentate ligands with 2 donor sites. So with one of those 2 donor sites, it can form one dative bond. Such type of ligands are called ambidentate ligand. NO2, minus. So through oxygen it can form day-2 bond, or through nitrogen also it can form day-2 bond. Nitrogen also having lone pair. So if it is forming day-2 bond with oxygen nitrito, it is called nitrito or O nitrite. Coordination number. Total number of day-2 bonds formed by central metal atom in a complex is called coordination number. Coordination number may be 2, that is fixed for central metal atom. For silver, coordination number is 2. For copper, coordination number is 4. For iron, cobalt, chromium, generally 6. So generally coordination number is fixed. For few metals like platinum, coordination number may be variable from 4 or 6. Next, naming of the complexes. Cationic complex. The complex in which coordination sphere has positive charge is called cationic complex. So there are two types of ions. Cation, left side one is cation, positive having positive charge, and counter ions are on right hand side. Suppose CO, NH3 2, H2O3, Cl, Br2 outside. The positive charge, 1 unit positive charge present on the coordination sphere. Sorry, 2 units of positive charge present on coordination sphere. 2 positive charges are cancelled by, nullified by 2 bromide ions. So naming of this complex, first you write the ligands along with their number. After that, write the name of the central metal atom, followed by the oxidation number in Roman number. Oxidation number is mentioned in Roman numericals in the bracket. After that, counter anion. Here Br minus is the counter anion. So ammonia ligands, H2O ligands, and Cl minus. 3 types of ligands are there. So first in alphabetical order, diamine, triaqua, when H2O is present, aqua. Naming of the ligand separately you can do. Chlorido, cobalt is a central metal atom, its oxidation number is 3. After that, counter anion, no need to mention the number, just to write the name of anion, bromide. Neutral complexes. The charge present on the coordination sphere is 0, that is neutral complex. Suppose nickel tetracarbonyl. Here carbon monoxide, carbonyl is the neutral ligand, its oxidation number is 0. So oxidation number of the nickel is 0. For ligands also 0. The charge present on the coordination sphere is 0. So tetracarbonyl, first you write the names of ligands, arrange the ligands in alphabetical order by mentioning their number. Tetracarbonyl, nickel 0. If you take another one, Cr, NH3 Cl3. So here the charge present on chromium is 0. So triamine, trichlorido, chromium, 3. Oxidation number of the chromium is 3. But the entire coordination sphere has the 0 charge. That's why it is neutral complex. Anionic complexes. The coordination sphere has a negative charge. Example K4 FeCN6. Here 2 types of ions. Counter ions are cations, K plus ions, there are 4. And complex ion is anion, FeCN6 4 minus. Since negative charge is present, this is anionic complex. So for anionic complex, first you write the name of counter ion, singular you have to write, potassium. No need to write tetrapotassium, just potassium. After that, similar hexacyanido, ligands, you have to arrange the ligands in alphabetical order. Only one type of ligands are there, Cn minus cyanido. hexacyanide or cyano also we can write. Hexacyanide. The central metal atom is iron, but here since it is anionic complex, the name ends with 8. At that time you have to take Latin name of the Fe, ferrum, ferrate. You write it as ferrate, then mention the oxidation number in the bracket, Roman numericals. Here 2 is the oxidation number. So potassium hexacyanidoferrate 2. Isomerism in complexes. So 2 or more than 2 compounds with same molecular formula but different chemical properties called isomers. Isomerism, that phenomena, the existence of different compounds with same molecular formula, that phenomena is called isomerism. Isomerism, 2 types: structural isomerism as well as stereoisomerism, similar to carbon compounds. Structural isomerism again divided into various types. Ionization isomerism. This type of isomerism arises due to presence of exchangeable counter anions and anionic ligands. So when sulfate is present outside, during the ionization we can get sulfate ion and complex ion with 2 units of positive charge. When the next one is dissolved in water, we can get complex counter anion Br minus and complex anion with 1 unit positive charge. So these two are having same molecular formula, but they are differ in the mode of ionization only. That's why they are called ionization isomerism. Solvate isomerism. If exchangeable H2O molecules and counter anions are present in the complex, that compound can exhibit hydrate or solvate isomerism. So in the first example, there is no H2O molecule outside of the square bracket. All 6 H2O molecules are acting as ligands. But in the second molecule, one H2O molecule is acting as hydrate present in interstitial site of the complex. Only 5 H2O molecules are acting as ligands. So when the first one is dissolved in water, no H2O molecules removed from the complex. But when second one is dissolved in water, one H2O molecule is released into the water. So this is almost like ionization isomerism. Linkage isomerism. 2 isomers which are having same molecular formula but differ in the linking atom of ambidentate ligand. So the condition to exhibit linkage isomerism is ambidentate ligand. Suppose in this compound the molecular formula is same for both the compounds. In the first one, through N it is attached to the central metal ion CO3 plus. In the second molecule, through oxygen it is attached. So due to difference in the linking atom of ambidentate ligand, through 2 complexes are obtained. That's why these are called linkage isomers. Coordination isomerism. Due to exchange of ligands between 2 central metal atom of a complex containing more than one central atom. So here ammonia and cyanide ions are exchangeable. 6 out of 6 ammonia ligands are exchanged with 6 Cn minus ions, then we can get another complex. So this is exhibited by the complex containing more than one polynuclear complexes. These are this type of isomerism is exhibited by polynuclear complexes due to exchange of ligands between 2 central atoms. Stereoisomerism. Isomerism arises due to difference in the spatial orientation of groups around the central atom. This is coming to the geometrical isomerism. 2 types of isomerism exhibited by complexes: geometrical isomerism as well as optical isomerism. Geometrical isomerism exhibited by coordinate complexes with coordination number 4. Square planar complexes. Tetrahedral complexes do not exhibit geometrical isomerism. So square planar complexes of the general formula Ma2B2, Ma2BC, MABCD can exhibit geometrical isomerism. You have to remember this general formula. So coming to Ma2B2, when 2 chlorines are on adjacent positions by making the angle 90 degrees, that is cis isomer. If both are present at 180 degrees each other away from one another, based on the distance between two identical ligands, we can say cis isomer as well as trans isomer. Similarly, MABCD, this type of isomers, there are 3 types. Next, with coordination number 6, MA4B2, MA4BC can exhibit cis trans isomerism. 2 chlorine atoms are on adjacent positions with bond angle 90 degrees, that is cis isomer. If both are in opposite position with bond angle 180 degrees, that is trans isomer. Even instead of 4 identical ligands, we can take 2 bidentate ligands. Thus, that also can exhibit geometrical isomerism. So, geometrical isomerism exhibited when 2 bidentate ligands are present. So, here chlorine chlorine on adjacent position, chlorine chlorine on opposite position. Next type, MA3B3 or MA3BCD also can exhibit geometrical isomerism. 3 identical groups are on triangular face of the octahedron. Such type of isomer is called facial isomer or FAC isomer. Similarly, if 3 identical groups are on meridian of the octahedron, that is meridional isomer. So, with the general formula MA3B3 or MA3BCD can exhibit geometrical isomerism. One is facial isomer, another one is meridional isomer. Optical isomers, these are 2 complexes with same molecular formula, differ only in rotating plane of polarized light. So, when polarized light is passed over 2 substances, one rotates towards right side, other one rotates towards left side. They are non-superimposable one on another. So, 2 such type of compounds which are differ in rotating plane of polarized light and which are non-superimposable one on other are called optical isomers. If both are exactly mirror images, they are enantiomers. So, generally when bidentate ligands are present, that complex can exhibit optical isomerism because of the lack of symmetry. So, symmetry should not be there in the complex compound to exhibit optical isomerism. If you observe this one, both these two are can rotate planar polarized light in different directions and both are non-superimposable one on another. If one rotates planar polarized light towards right side, that is called dextro, another one opposite, it rotates planar polarized light towards left side. So, both are non-superimposable and they are called optical isomers. Both are exactly mirror images, that is why they are also called enantiomers. Coming to the theories of complexes, first theory was proposed by Alfred Werner. For that work, he was awarded Nobel Prize also. According to Werner's theory, the central metal atom has 2 types of valencies, primary valency as well as secondary valency. Primary valency generally equal to oxidation number, while secondary valency is equal to coordination number. Primary valency is ionizable while it is satisfied by negative ions, but secondary valency is non-ionizable and satisfied by any type of ions. Coming to valence bond theory, according to valence bond theory, central metal atom provides empty orbitals, n-1 d orbitals, ns orbitals, np orbitals and nd orbitals. Spd orbitals of valence shell, n stands for valence shell, n-1 stands for n penultimate shell. So, these orbitals, ligands can undergo overlapping with empty orbitals of the central metal atom. So, covalent bond is formed by the overlapping of completely filled orbital of ligand with empty orbital of central metal atom. Coordinate covalent bond is formed by the overlapping of completely filled orbital of ligand with empty orbital of central metal atom. So, according to the ligands approaching central metal atom has to provide sufficient number of empty orbitals, they undergo hybridization. The hybrid orbitals only involved. If the coordination number is 4, central metal atom has to provide 4 empty orbitals. The 4 empty orbitals Suppose this is n minus 1 d sub shell ns np sub shell, this is nd. If the approaching ligand is strong field ligand, forcible pairing takes place in n minus 1 d sub shell, then inner d orbital is participated. So, in the presence of strong field ligand, n minus 1 d orbital plus ns orbital plus np orbitals 2, these 4 undergo hybridization forming dsp2 hybrid orbitals 4 dsp2 hybrid orbitals. These 4 empty d orbitals can form dative bonds with 4 ligands. That's why the shape is square planar. If the ligand approaching is weak field ligand, instead of n minus 1 d orbital, valence p orbitals only involved. At that time, s orbital and 3 p orbitals involved in the hybridization. The type of hybridization is sp3. Then the shape of the complex becomes tetrahedral with bond angle 109 degrees. So, based on the ligand approach, when the coordination number is 4, the hybridization may be dsp2 or sp3. So, the details are given. When the coordination number is 4, sp3 hybridization tetrahedral, dsp2 square planar. This is in the presence of strong field ligand and it gives low spin complex. sp3 in the presence of weak field ligand, generally it feels high spin complex. When the coordination number is 5, sp3d hybridization. When the coordination number is 6, sp3d2. This is outer d orbital complex. This is in the presence of weak field ligand. d2 sp3 in the presence of strong field ligand. Inner d orbital complex is formed low spin complex. Crystal field theory. According to this theory, the bond present between ligand and the central metal atom is pure ionic. 5 d orbitals in the presence of ligand, they are excited first. After the excitation, they split into 2 sets. Suppose in the octahedral, 3 orbitals having low energy, 2 orbitals. So, these orbitals are called T2g orbitals, these 2 orbitals are called EG orbital, dxy, dyz, dzx. These 3 orbitals are called T2g orbitals. So, the energy gap between these two is crystal field splitting energy delta O. This is in octahedral complexes. In tetrahedral complexes, exactly opposite. Now, EG orbitals can get lower energy and T2 orbitals can get higher energy, and the splitting energy is represented as delta T. So, after the splitting, electrons enter into T2g orbitals first, after that EG orbitals. So, according to the delta provided by the ligand may be divided into 2 types, strong field ligand and weak field ligand. In the presence of strong field ligand, after 3 electrons in T2g, in the presence of strong field ligand, pairing energy is less than delta O value. That is why after 3 electrons pairing starts. If it is weak field ligand, for weak field ligand pairing energy is more than delta O. That is why after 3 electrons in T2g orbitals, the electron is excited, prefers to excite. This is the method of electronic configuration. Now, based on the delta created by ligand, crystal field splitting energy, the ligands are arranged in the increasing order of their splitting energy. The highest delta O value when ligand is carbon monoxide, next Cn minus Cn, En ethylene diamine, ammonia, etc. So, these are considered strong field ligands, others are considered weak field ligands. The series of ligands arranged with respect to their delta O value is called spectrochemical series. This is based on the experimental values they arranged. Coming to the next topic, biomolecules. Macromolecules with high molecular mass which are participated in biochemical reactions called biomolecules, like carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, vitamins, hormones, lipids, fats, etc. Coming to carbohydrates, hydrates of carbon with the general formula CnH2O taken M are called carbohydrates, hydrates of carbon. Here N and M may be equal, may not be equal. So all carbohydrates won't follow this formula. That's why later on scientists they change the definition. Optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes are ketones. The latest definition, optically active, all are having chiral carbons, that's why they are optically active. All carbohydrates are optically active, remember. Optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes are ketones called carbohydrates. So classification, when carbohydrate molecule is dissolved in water, it undergoes splitting to give n number of smaller units. Based on that n, these are divided into monosaccharides, no decomposition, disaccharides, each molecule can split into 2 molecules on hydrolysis, trisaccharides, etc. Oligosaccharides, on hydrolysis, each unit split into 3 to 10 simple monosaccharides called oligosaccharides. Disaccharides also can be considered as oligosaccharides. So trisaccharides, if you take raffinose on hydrolysis in the presence of enzyme or acid, it gives glucose, fructose and galactose. Since it is giving 3 types called trisaccharide. Stachyose can produce glucose, fructose and 2 molecules of galactose. So totally 3 particles are produced from 1 particle of carbohydrate. That's why this is tetrasaccharide. Polysaccharide, n number of monosaccharides are produced. Example, starch, cellulose, glycogen, etc. Then based on the reduction, the carbohydrate which reduces failing solution, Tollens reagent called reducing sugar, which cannot reduce failing solution, and Tollens reagent called non-reducing sugars. So reducing sugar can show mutar rotation, spontaneous change in optical rotation, optical activity, optical rotation of an optically active compound when dissolved in water is called mutar rotation. So reducing sugar can have free OH at anomeric carbon. Based on that, you can remember, when free OH group is present at anomeric carbon, that is reducing sugar, or one which has cyclic hemiacetal link. Hemiacetal structure is acting as reducing sugar. Next, disaccharides. So you must go through the structures, Haworth ring structures also for all these: sucrose, lactose and maltose. Starch or amylum. This is starch is present in wheat, maize, rice, potatoes, barley, etc. Starch is amorphous white powder, insoluble in cold water but soluble in boiling water. Starch on hydrolysis produces D-glucose, alpha D-glucose units. So starch contains polysaccharides, 2 types of polysaccharides, amylose and amylopectin. 20% amylose and 80% amylopectin is present. Amylose is water soluble, while amylopectin is water insoluble. Amylopectin is branched chain polysaccharide. Cellulose, this is a structural component of vegetable matter. Wood has 20 to 40% cellulose, while cotton has 90% of the cellulose. It contains a large number of beta D glucose units, joined by beta 1,4 glycosidic linkages, whereas starch has alpha D glucose units. In the hydrolysis of cellulose, it gives beta D glucose units. So cellulose is digestible only in the stomach of certain animals like cow, but not digestible in human beings. Next, coming to proteins, alpha amino acids undergo polymerization to give proteins. Amino acids where NH2 is at alpha carbon and COH is present, they are called alpha amino acids. General representation RCH NH2COH. Since NH2 is present at alpha carbon, called alpha amino acid. So based on the difference, based on the change in R, we can get almost 20 types of amino acids which are participated in the protein formation. These amino acids are two types. 20 amino acids are divided into two types: 10 essential amino acids, 10 non-essential amino acids. Amino acids which are being produced by human beings in the body itself can produce certain amino acids. They are non-essential amino acids. So essential amino acids must be given to the body through diet only. Next, all amino acids are optically active except first amino acid, glycine. Glycine is the smallest amino acid. There is no chiral carbon. That's why glycine is optically inactive. When Fischer projection formula is written, COOH and R at the bottom. If NH2 is on right hand side, that is D amino acid. If NH2 is on left hand side, that is L amino acids. So whatever the amino acids which are participated in the formation of proteins are nothing but L amino acids. So when amino acids are divided into three types based on the nature. NH2 and COOH groups are same in number, they are neutral amino acids. If number of NH2 groups more than COOH groups, they are basic amino acids. If NH2 groups are less when compared with COOH groups, they are acidic amino acids. Or CHNH2 COOH, when it is added to the acidic solution where H plus ions are more, the amino acid can exist as cation and migrated towards cathode during the electrolysis. When the amino acid is dissolved in the solution whose pH is greater than isoelectric point, where OH minus ions are more, COOH will respond. At this time, it will exist as anion. Amino acid can exist as anion and migrated to anode during the electrolysis. At suitable pH, the amino acid can exist as Zwitter ion, intramolecular neutralization taking place. So this is Zwitter ion. The pH at which amino acid exists as Zwitter ion is called isoelectric point. At this isoelectric point, it exists as Zwitter ion or inner salt. So at pH at Zwitter ion, the solubility is less. So based on the difference in isoelectric points, we can separate the amino acids from the mixture. So now amino acids join with each other through amide bond or CHNH2COH. Any two amino acids when come closer to each other, they combine each other forming amide bond. C terminal should be on right hand side, N terminal should be on left hand side. Let us take two amino acids, OH provided by acid, H provided by NH2 of the amino acid. Both are attached with each other through amide bond. This is amide bond, peptide bond. Left side CH or NH2. N terminal should be on left hand side, C terminal should be on right hand side. So this is amide bond or peptide bond, amide bond or peptide bond. If it is glycine, if it is alanine, the name of the dipeptide, when two amino acids are participated, the formed one is called dipeptide, two amino acids with one amide bond. Next, nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are present in nucleus. They are polymers formed by the monomers called nucleotides. So nucleotides join each other through phosphodiester link. the link present between two nucleotides is phosphodiester. These are two types, RNA and DNA, ribonucleic acid, deoxyribonucleic acid. The main difference between these two, so nitrogen bases are two types, purines and pyrimidines. Purines are two types, adenine, guanine. Pyrimidines are three types, cytosine, uracil and thymine. And sugar moiety, ribose sugar, pentose sugar, or deoxy, 2-deoxy ribose sugar, and then phosphates. So these are the three units present in nucleotides: nitrogen base, sugar and phosphate. In RNA, this is single strand one, only one strand is present. Adenine is present, guanine is present, cytosine is present, uracil is present. T is absent here. T is absent in RNA. The sugar moiety present in ribose sugar. In DNA, this is double helical, having double helical structure. Two strands are running parallel to each other and winding around one axis. The difference is adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine are present in DNA. Uracil is absent. In DNA, uracil is absent. Coming to the sugar moiety, 2-deoxyribose sugar is present. From second position of the ribose, oxygen must be removed. That is the sugar moiety present. When ribose sugar and nitrogen base both are attached, that is called, both are attached with each other through N-glycosidic link, nucleoside, the one which is formed is called nucleoside. To this nucleoside, if phosphate 1 or 2 or 3 added, then that becomes nucleotide. So nucleotide is formed by nitrogen base plus sugar moiety plus phosphate. Suppose adenine deoxyribose sugar or ribose sugar, adenosine, the formed nucleoside is called adenosine. If one phosphate is present, adenosine monophosphate. If two are present, two phosphates are present, adenosine diphosphate. If three phosphates are present, adenosine triphosphate, AMP, ADP and ATP. Energy in the body is stored in the form of ATP. Deoxyribose sugar, it is used in the mitosis. During the mitosis, one DNA molecule splits into two DNA molecules. Exact Xerox copies of one DNA molecule obtained. That is called duplication or replication. Another application of DNA is protein synthesis. DNA is involved in the synthesis of protein. So during the synthesis of protein on ribosomes involves two steps: replication, translation and transcription. Both steps are involved in the preparation of protein. So next topic, vitamins. Vitamins are important dietary products which are used for the normal growth of the body. The disease caused due to deficiency of vitamin is cured only by giving sufficient amount of vitamin. So just you go through the tabular form, each one: source and deficiency diseases. Source no need to concentrate, but deficiency disease is important, and if it is possible, chemical name of the each vitamin. So vitamins are two types based on the solubility. Vitamins may be soluble in water, may not be soluble in water. the vitamins B and C both are soluble in water. They are called water soluble vitamins. The other vitamins like D, E, K are fat soluble vitamins. If water soluble vitamins are there, they must be replaced daily. So in our food, in our diet, B and C vitamins must be there, because B and C vitamins, since they are water soluble, they will go out from the body in the form of sweat or urine. So frequently, as B and C vitamins are going out from the body, there is a need to replace B and C vitamins frequently. So B and C vitamins are very important in our diet. B and C vitamins must be present frequently. These two must be replaced. Other vitamins, since they are fat soluble, they are not removed frequently from the body, so they are not, no need to give regularly the other fat soluble vitamins. So children, go through the synopsis. These are all memory based. You must go through the synopsis as many times as possible. So with this I will conclude the topic. Okay, all the best.